Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Chocolate Dinosaur, the podcast where I talk about anything that I want to. I want to firstly start out by saying I apologize for missing a few weeks. I kind of knew that would happen. I was going on a trip, but I did post videos. I posted regular videos on my channel, so hopefully that makes up for it. But yes, I kind of knew that I was going to miss some podcast episodes. That's why I clarified that it is not every Friday, it is just like most Fridays that I am able to do stuff. Right off the bat, I want to let everyone know that this is going to be a little bit more of a somber toned episode, I think, because I really wanted to chat about grief and loss and stuff like that, and not everybody wants to hear about that, which I totally understand. So if that is not something you are into, that is completely fine. You obviously do not have to listen to this episode. So I just wanted to kind of say at the top here, that's what this entire episode is going to be about. So if you would be triggered by talking about loss, grief, death, animals, and people, I would probably not listen to this ep. So it's just a space for me to vent, but also for me to kind of just talk about the intricacies of grief and loss in general, because it can be really confusing, and I know that. So if you've watched my channel not too long ago, but a little while back, I made a video doing my makeup and talking about the day that I found out that my stepdad passed away. And I kind of kept saying that I was going to chat more about what happened or whatever. I will not today. And I want to say that that's not because I don't want to talk about it or because I don't whatever. It's mainly just because there's a lot of ongoing processes going on. We still haven't finished in the court system for everything that happened, so it just doesn't feel like a good time to really get into it yet. Once the legal side of stuff is figured out, I think I'll be more comfortable sharing all of it. So I don't want it to seem like I am teasing you guys with information and then being like, no, I'm not going to share. Or whatever. And I also want to say that it is not really anyone else's business besides mine and my family's, of course. But I didn't want it to seem like I was trying to get attention by teasing information and then holding it, because that's the last thing I want. So I will be more comfortable talking about that at a later date. I hope you guys understand. But we are still going to be discussing his passing quite a bit in this episode. I don't know necessarily where to start, but I guess I'll start here. When I was on my trip, when I was on my vacation with my mom, the night that we arrived to our condo where we would be staying, I got a call from my sister crying, freaking out, saying to have mom call her. So I did, and I listened, and she informed us that my dog had died, that our dog had died, and that she had literally just found him moments before, dead. And I don't know how to explain that feeling to anyone who hasn't experienced it. You don't immediately get hit with grief. It's more like shock and disbelief and the fear that overtakes your body when you receive a panicked phone call, waking you up. I was asleep. I got a phone call that woke me up with my sister crying on the other end, which is the exact same thing that happened when my stepdad died. Just the anxiety, I guess, that you feel enter your body in a situation like that is insane, and I really want to commend and thank my sister for being there when it happened with my stepdad, being there when it happened with the dog. She has also found one of her cats passed in a very horrifying situation, which I'm not going to get into because it's too hard for me to talk about all of that. But my sister, who annoys me to death, who sometimes I just want to like slap around a little bit, is brave in a way that I have not been forced to be yet, and I hope that I am not forced to be, and I wouldn't wish upon anybody. And it comes with so much trauma and pain and sadness. You go back to your normal life. That's the hardest part about losing someone, is that life goes on around you. And some people know of what you're going through, and most people don't. And no one is going to treat you kinder. No one is going to cater to you all the time. Most people are going to just go about things the same way they did before. But you are changed. Your life is different. And it's so hard. People die every day. So many people die every day. And so many people are directly affected by it. But one day when someone you don't know personally dies, but someone that you know personally has someone that they know personally that dies, it kind of affects you, but your life is mostly the same. And when my stepdad died, for instance, everything was a panic and stressful and confusing, and none of us knew what to do. Obviously, we couldn't have prepared for that because we had no idea what was going to happen. It was a freak, well, I'm not going to say accident, because that other person would have killed somebody. And if it wasn't my stepdad who died that day, it could have been some other innocent person. But when someone dies, when my stepdad died, for example, again, life is expected to continue as normal. I was expected to continue going to class, to continue doing my assignments, continue trying to keep my grades up, to continue talking to my friends, my classmates, and to continue taking care of my cat, which did help me through that really rough time, and then that cat ended up dying. And it was a twist of fate in such a cruel way, and I miss him, my Pickles, with every ounce of my being, every second of every day. I miss him and I wish he was here. My cat passed away in January of this year. He was my best friend, and he was not even 2 years old yet, and he helped me through one of the most challenging periods of my life. Because when my stepdad died, I was in college in a different state, which I've talked about this school before. I've talked about my experience there. I ended up leaving for a multitude of reasons, one of them being this very situation. But I was at school in a different state, on my own, 2.5 hours away, 2 hours, 45 minutes, almost 3 hours, honestly, away from my mom, living with my roommates who I'd known for a week at this point, and with my cat who gotten like the month before or something, and who was everything to me. Pickles dying is probably one of the most, if not the most, unfair things that I feel has ever happened to me. Not that death is ever fair, but that one felt personal in a way. And I know it's not, but it just felt like it. And the death of my stepdad rocked my entire family. He was our main source of income. He supported our family. He was my mother's husband. He meant the world to her. He was her longest relationship. He was the kindest man she'd ever been with. She didn't have a great track record before. He was a good guy. We weren't super close, but he was a really good guy. And his death changed everything, but my cat's death destroyed me. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't miss that little guy. He was my biggest supporter and my best friend, and he was silly and weird and sometimes really cuddly and sweet, and he had a little brother, Macaroni, who I still have and who is currently my best friend, the sweetest boy ever, and my rock, honestly. But Pickle's death was very unexpected. Again, he was 1. He wasn't even 2 yet. He was making his way to 2 years old, but he wasn't 2 yet. And it's my fault that he got sick. And it's my fault that he died. And I think that we could have done something to help, but they didn't know if it would actually help. They didn't know if the blood transfusion that he needed was going to actually keep him alive or if he was going to die. And I couldn't bear the thought of him dying on an operating table or dying connected to tubes when I'm not there. So I held him as they injected the thing in him that killed him. And I think a part of me died with him. I miss him so much. Every single day of my life. He is one of the best things that has ever happened to me, and losing him was one of the worst things that has ever happened to me. And I have gone through a lot in my life, but that was the worst thing ever. And over the past few years, we have lost so much. My family. We lost my dog Chopper, who was with me from age 3 or 4 till nearly the end of high school. My cat Gizmo, who had been there with me almost as long, short a few years. My cat Pickles, who wasn't even 2 years old yet. My dog Bo, who was maybe 13, 14. My stepdad. And again, there's nothing personal about it. There's nothing fair about it. There's nothing, whatever. People who are religious in different ways may think different things about it all. May say that it's God's will or God's plan, or may say that everything happens for a reason, or may say that they're in a better place now, or anything like that. And sure, to each their own, but for me, these are just fucked up things that have happened, and it's not fair, and it's not right, and it fucking sucks. And I don't know if they're in a better place. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in heaven or hell. I don't know if they're anywhere, or if they're in those boxes that are on the shelf that I'm looking at right now. We got my dogs cremated, and my stepdad, and my cat. It feels like we are surrounded by death. It's beautiful and horrifying and devastating and sad all at the same time. And some people may think that some people who may be religious and may have choice feelings about me not being so may say that this is all some sort of punishment ushered by God. Well, if a God punishes us by making us lose that of which we love, they're a real fucked up God. And they're a real unkind and unjust and unfair God. But in the absence of my stepdad, my mom and I are closer than we've ever been. There was a lot of struggle between us because my stepdad never quite understood me and didn't really make much of an effort to. My mom was kind of caught in between, and I was so pissed at them all the time. I just wanted to be understood, and no one did. And it seems like people didn't even try. And now I have empathy for my mother, of course for the obvious reasons, but also because she was in the middle of it. She couldn't side with me or side with him, because then one of us would be mad. And that was an unfair situation for her to be in. But also I was, as it were, 13 to 15 years old in a body that didn't feel like my own. Doesn't really feel like my own most of the time. And at a school that didn't understand me, around people who didn't understand me, and a family who treated me like I was barely a part of it. untreated anxiety and issues up the wazoo, basically. And I was not the easiest person to deal with. And I feel bad about that. But again, I was a kid. And how was I supposed to know that he was going to die before we had a chance to get over it, some of our issues? I didn't know that. I couldn't have known that. And there's nothing I can do about that. I am incredibly happy about the closeness that my mother and I share. She annoys me to no end, and I think I make her upset a lot. I don't think I mean to most of the time. We're a lot alike and quite different in a lot of ways, but getting closer to her has been the best. It's been awesome. It's great to have someone who feels like a friend, feels like they understand me, but it's also my mom. She understands me in a way that nobody else does, and nobody else really makes an effort to. And she cares about me a lot. She cares about me more than I probably care about me. I don't know what my life would look like if my stepdad was still around, if I'm being honest. I don't know what it would be. I don't know if I'd be happy. I don't know if I'd be miserable. I don't know if I'd be living at home or trying to make it at school still. I don't know. I really don't, because that's not the situation that we're in. But I don't know that my mom and I would be as close as we are if my stepdad was still around, and that makes me feel guilty. It makes me feel horrible to think that and to say that out loud, because it implies that I am happy that he died, or that I feel some sort of gratitude towards it, or that it isn't a fucked up, horrible thing that ruined the lives of everyone involved. Because it is a fucked up thing that ruined the lives of everyone involved, and we are still in the process of figuring out, and we are still reeling from, and every day is a challenge, and we can't afford to live, and we can't afford to die, so they don't know what to do. It's a horrible thing, and I'm not trying to deny that. But after high school, and after I lost a lot of my friends, having my mom as my friend has kept me going in some regard. I have a couple of friends now, and it's great, but none of them know about me what my old friends did. My old friends, they knew everything. There was so much information that I trusted them with, and thankfully I don't think they've shared it, so I appreciate that. But it is hard to form a bond that close, and it's hard to get comfortable enough to share these things with people, and I shared everything with them. Well, pretty much everything, yeah. I shared so much with them. They hold more information about me than even my mom, and I don't talk to them anymore. Well, they stopped talking to me, and I still don't know why, and I would love some clarity on that. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I don't have very many close bonds in my life anymore. I have one close bond in my life now, and that is my mom. I used to have friends who knew everything about me, and I knew a lot about them, and we took a lot of comfort in helping each other through things and just having each other's backs. But it takes a long time to get to that point with people. And I have a few friends, as I said, but to get to a point where I'm comfortable sharing all of that with them, it would take a while, and it would take a lot of work, and it would take a lot of trust, of which I don't have a ton to spare right now, or to share. So the connection that I have with my mother has saved my life in a lot of ways, and kept me going in a lot of ways, and I'm so lucky to have found that, because a lot of people aren't close with their parents. A lot of people don't have loving parents, and a lot of people don't have a mom that they can talk to, or who knows things about them, or who is even just as generally accepting and open as my mother is. And she's not even the most accepting thing in the world, but it's a step up from a lot of people. And I'm lucky to have that. I really, really am. And I worry about her every second of every day. She worries about me a lot too. I'm worried that we're not going to survive in a literal sense and financially. And just, going through, I think the things that we have kind of rewired our brains a little bit. But I don't know what the takeaway is supposed to be. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all the weight of the pain or the weight of the trauma and the anxiety and the fear that I get when I get a phone call. I don't know what to do with the emotions or the tears. I don't know where to put that energy. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to simmer it. I don't know how to expel it. I don't know how to channel it. I don't know what to do. And that's why death is so hard to figure out. Yes, it is painful and difficult, and losing someone is hard, and it is sad, and it is devastating, and it sucks. I understand the sadness. I get that. I don't know what to do with all the other stuff. How am I supposed to step up and take care of my mom, fulfill this role of a caretaker? Meanwhile, she's supposed to be caretaking for me, and she does, and we care for each other, and if I ever move out, she's gonna be alone, and I'm gonna be alone, and what do I do with that? The house is the quietest it's ever been, with it being, in terms of humans, just me and her, and then our dog's not here anymore, so it's just our 4 cats. And it's quiet, and it's filled with sadness, and an air of energy that doesn't really make sense to me. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to be an adult. I don't know how to be a grown-up. I don't know how to take care of people. I am also disabled, so it is likely that I will need support of others for a long time, and I don't know how to be what I need to be, and I don't know if she needs me to be that. I don't know. It's all a mess, certainly. I'm lucky I have what I do. Don't get me wrong, I am lucky that I have what I do have. I don't know what I'm supposed to be learning, if I'm being taught something, or if I'm supposed to take something away from all of this, if the universe is trying to send a message of some sort, or if sometimes fucked up things just happen, which is kind of the direction that I'm towards all the time, is just that, someone who doesn't believe in God, a lot of times I'm just like, life happens and stuff happens and things are unfair, and sometimes life sucks. Sometimes things suck, and sometimes people suck, but that doesn't mean that it always sucks. Life doesn't have to always suck, and not all people suck, and there can be good in bad, and there can be good in life, and there can be good in you and me, and even if we think we're fucked up, even if we think we suck, there can be good in that. And I don't think I'm a bad person. I have a lot of good in my heart, and I have a lot of passion, and I have a lot of excitement, and I have a lot of dreams. Sometimes life sucks, or sometimes something happens that sucks, and that doesn't need to control everything. That doesn't need to destroy our lives. I don't know. I think the last thing I'll say on all of this is, appreciate what you have, of course, and appreciate what you don't, and don't let yourself get too swept up in it all, I guess. I don't know. Grief is hard. Loss is hard. Life is hard, unfortunately. But hey, we're all here. We all struggle. We're all going through life, and things aren't easy for any of us. So find some people that you can talk to, find some trust, find some friends, find some source of connection, and that'll help a lot. I don't know how to end this episode, but I'm just gonna say that we're probably gonna end the episode. Thank you for dealing with me. I don't know how this episode is going to do, so yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. I will be back with another episode soon. I love you all. Bye.